So, uh, I got 191 views on my Anarchy video. I added a fucking question to the end of it. Who is your audience? Because I felt like that kind of was the central theme of said message. Then I finally took it off of private. I didn't even realize I left it on private. I could have sworn I had made it public before I left the vehicle. But I was running late for work, so I guess that checks out. Yeah. So, this is kind of piggybacking on that because I had such a strong response. So, universally exclusive inclusion. What that means is that you have a thing that is universal, meaning that it's for everybody. It's everywhere, it's everything, right? But it's also exclusive. Something kind of special about it. It has it's universal, but it's got a standard, and people don't always measure up to its standards. So a lot of people get excluded from this universal thing that we all have. But other than that, it actually wants you included, but you have to change to fit the standards. And then it'll be universal to you, you see. So the question is, I have heard every ideology effectively say that. That's like the formula for, no, my ideology works for everybody. I'm really angry that you're not seeing it and doing it right now and solving all the problems right now. And somehow I think you're making me look like a fool because we failed to get everybody on board with agreeing with me. If only everybody agreed with me, then you would see everything change. And this is the way that we have played a game with ourselves called Let's Remodel the House. Meaning that we're not going to change the foundation. We're not going to remove any of the central infrastructure, like the beams of the house. We might knock down some inner walls, but the external walls are, they might get touched up, but they're not getting moved. Right? You're doing an interior overhaul. And all you're really doing is saying, I want people with this attitude in this job. That's all you're fucking doing when you fucking vote. When you fucking enter an ideology that seeks to have political influence, is that you are enticing people to say, we need some people with our attitude that we can scapegoat. I'm sick and tired of scapegoating these people because it's getting pretty bad out there, and I don't think we're getting good results just slitting his throat. We got to slit one of our own throat. We got to verify that we nailed this fucking problem right. and found the right scapegoat that will absolve us of the sin of not getting right the laws of our God. That's what it is, right? Communists that are atheists are sure funny how religious they get, because it's not that they're defending the ideas, it's that you can feel that there is the irrevocable idea of the big monolithic super agency of the government. Of, you know, they love to imagine the big buildings with the swarms of people with authority that are checking all the notes and making sure every penny is not moved in fraud, right? And that every word is truthful and objective and that's the particular details towards their need to say that government is the manifestation, or government is the mechanism. It is the imagination machine, right? Like, it's a big wishing machine. People have to stand here and say this thing and do this inked thing, and it's a machine, but it's a magic machine. So you say incantations, and you write spells and writs, and you do rituals and ceremonies, and as long as you're standing in all the right places, you say all the right lines, yada yada yada, this performance then turns into agreed upon aura that goes over the whole thing, right? And this is the dome of the Capitol, is a microcosm magic circle that is the magic circle that encompasses all of America. The Oval Office is another such magic circle. The Oval Office, the dome of the Capitol, and I believe there's no... Are there round things in the essential... Everything in a courthouse seems to be pretty square, so I think you're dealing with all masculine Saturnian energy in the way we do courts now, right? This is getting magical hints from your infrastructure architecture, right? You have to forgive anybody doing mud flood Tartaria research that gets anything wrong. They are correlating things that don't need that narrative, such as, magical architecture. It's, buildings can be beautiful and amazing three-dimensional sigil glyphs. They were telling you this in horror form in Hellraiser 4. Hinted at in Hellraiser 3 with the ending scene, which involves some truths about certain ritual magic that many builders will do. They kill somebody and they bury them in the cornerstone of the building, and they become a guardian spirit. So Leviathan is the guardian spirit of this corporate building that is built at the end of Hellraiser 3, which then becomes a haunted semi like you're in the cube when you're in the building. The building will turn into this whole thing, and they really fucked up Hellraiser 4, man. Shit, like the way they changed everything, the terrible business decisions were being fucking made, and they fucked it up because Hellraiser 4 had a really cool, multi-layered, extraordinary fucking premise that sounded like it could have been a brilliant fucking experiment in non-linear filmmaking. It was promising to do some amazing non-linear filmmaking, but they screwed it the fuck up. So anyway, I just, I'm just looking at things. Here's something that's been cooking with me, right? The research on the occult esoteric symbolism behind the authorities of our world. The uniform and the insignifications that we all know. Mark Passio's lectures on these have been fucking phenomenal. So, we all know how they profile for police. Now, if it is possible that we are being an influence, I see a world going through a lot of healing through so many different things that happen in the public discourse. All sorts of things that nobody wants to acknowledge has been karmic lessons learned that are slowly manifesting, right? It's like you're gonna see somewhat a lot of black pill oriented things arise, no fucking doubt. I think you're going to see amazing powers for those of us on the leading edge of having so much fucking wisdom and foresight in the matter that it's not ever going to touch us unless it's one of the secrets of the Norns, because of course the secrets of the Norns is our death, right? And big reason why that's a secret is because you've got free will and you can't morally cheat by preparing outside of the circumstances of knowing for yourself, right? You're not going to get spoon-fed like the thing, right? You can't. And that has a hell of a lot to do with the fact that those Norns are presiding over our eternal soul, and there's a higher level of perspective, which is involved with things that they don't have control over as goddess deities. They're more yin, obviously. They have a different relationship with the realm of effect, the goddesses and the female Jotuns, which I really don't see the Norns. Like, the Norns are Jotuns because they're very much what they are in their essence and their station, but they're primordial universal constants. So they're goddesses, right? They're on that god level, like the way there's the big titans that birthed the gods, right? There's a lot of that to the ladies 3. So anyway, So, whatever you've got going on, especially if you don't really have a good answer for a in your lifetime means to an ends of your ideological world coming to fruition, then you can go ahead and put plenty of focused effort into finding that. But you need to also have a cooperative, because everyone else is also doing the same thing. Everyone's got their mystical, logical, or whatever ickle fucking process of the heart and mind, and maybe they're listening to their bodies about that penultimate utopia. And there are times to be pessimistic, there are times to be optimistic. There's always a time for different attitudes. And I feel like an attitude needs to always shift with the times. I think there has to always be, it's not just like, you're not just keeping score with like, yeah, I give you credit for freedom here and tremendous growth there and so on and so forth. I'm fucking talking about, I see this move as incredibly landmark, because if I am intuiting and reasoning this properly, this is going to be the chain of cause and effect that's going to lead to these things happening and these things happening. And we can take it by the reins and lead it on a good course or a bad course. And if you can fucking pick up on that shit and get a conversation going before it fucking gets out of control, you can get something good, because as it grows, it's eventually going to divide and partisan itself. Like the way, like, Q movement people separated or just abandoned the Q movement and became other things, right? These ideas will grow, and then they will butt off into their particulars. This is why I made my statements about something that I don't want to call post-Jungian, but is in the post-Jungian framework. You see, that's why I brought that up, right? Because I believe that there's going to be an awesome next level to Jung, to what we've gotten from Jung. Jung is now busted out on the scene. Many people are able to tap that well if they need to, and there can be a course correction. I don't like using the whole 144,000 kind of thing, where, because people then correlate that to it being the 100th monkey effect, and I don't know if that's going to happen. A lot of people poo-poo the 100th monkey idea, but I kind of think it's real, because I do kind of think that's what happened in 2016. The 100th monkey was tipped, and then it's been psychological warfare of a hostile nature instead of a covert nature ever since. You're seeing the full ugliness of it in the UK right now. So we have to have multiple tiers of our society that is organized, agreed upon, for our ability to have right of association, right? Communists, if they want to be communists, let them be communist in their own microcosm. Give them a civil and rational manner in which they can fucking go and do it. You know, you don't fucking do it during the summer of fucking Floyd in the middle of the city of Seattle, headquartered in the police department. You know, you don't do it like a Batman comic book, effectively, because that's a Batman comic. Children raised on comics that were transformed into woke, way ahead of the curve when it was all coming in covertly. I could see it coming for reals at a certain, like, I was able to reverse rationalize everything that I was seeing on Cartoon Network, which had a handful of really neat shows I appreciated. And I liked seeing talented people making good shows, and I wanted to know what kind of stories the system was telling little brother and little sister, right? And you see that even before I ever knew that I could do what I'm doing right this very moment with my mouth. I wanted to keep a follow on that. I mean, like, I'm a musician. I may be interested in the future in, you know, doing something musically in all forms of media, right? It's a question of, do I like the contract agreement? Do I, do I walk in and play over here for a while? How much do I trust my agent? Yada, yada, yada. How much do I trust my lawyer? And because I felt like I was an imbecile, and I definitely knew that I knew nothing, and I definitely felt overwhelmed by the whole matter, and I definitely didn't believe in myself yet, I hesitated on all sorts of good decisions I should have made, especially because I was really a little diluted and didn't make enough sacrifices to be better a musician when I was finally able to get myself a goddamn instrument. All right, I picked up guitar at 16. I don't get to have the story where I've been playing my guitar since I was 10, and I had the encouragement of my father. No, I didn't get the encouragement of my father. Not at all. Nor did I want it, knowing what I wanted to be and what he disapproved of. Because you're looking at all the stuff, what's also cool amongst your friends too. That's always a factor because it's an important part of your social life. These interests, you need to go through and have these experiences, like watching these kinds of movies and so on and so forth, because you're trying to keep up with your buddies, and that's a conservative family doesn't want you keeping up with your friends like that. They don't want you to have too many bad habits. And there are some fucking zonky extremes by which people do that. And those extremes tell a wild fucking stories. Sometimes it's true the way things turn out. It's very holy shit like that. But in truth, I'm a little bit like Manly P. Hall, just slower. How does he do this without a script? It's like what Manly P. Hall did. I mean, like, if Manly P. Hall had been born in the podcasting generation, it would have been game fucking over. It's just like most people just don't want to know that they can use their minds this way. I figured this out because for me it comes far more natural. I ended up becoming right-brained. So I think Manly P. Hall was a righty, so I'm pretty sure he was left-brained, right? So it works better for universality. See how that works? Manly P. Hall's work is universal. However, it is it's very exclusive to who understands it. But everybody could understand it, so it's very inclusive. Right? So anyway, my point is that we need to we basically need to operate with two plans. A plan for now, which is the means, and a plan for the goal or the ends, because you need to take some time. You need to ask yourself, what pillars need to be in place? Do I have a large enough scope of the human condition, right? And this is not going to, you're not going to find this through like passive observation. I'm sorry. You're not going to find this through although you do actually need all of this stuff too, but just social media projection. You got to remember, man, the vast majority of the population wants to have private fucking lives. I'm a weird motherfucker for wanting to fucking put my real name and face out here, and my real general fucking like actual living location. I'm fucking crazy. People couldn't do that. People like us that do. We are the psychic liberators. Do you understand? We are the psychic liberators. That's what you follow an influencer to do. It's like being a congressman with no power. YouTube is the powerless Congress. As it should be, because you can't really track what's going on accurately. Congress, you could. I mean, they don't, because lies and fraud, but my point is that it's on the books that they're supposed to keep records, and thus there's a record there. Now, you can't rely on that record, but it is there. And you'll never be able to rely on any record as such. What you're only asking for is for the government to leave you alone, because it's going to have to get bigger on some motherfuckers. Why? Because the government is serving them that way. And the government is learning to serve better. So it is contextualizing its laws. It is making sure that the law is used in a particular way based on a political discourse that is agreeable to constitutional limits and is set by prior court precedent, and it's something that we are consistently having a conversation about. And because everything is typically copacetic with all human beings, they don't bother you so much. Now, that's what I see happening now. I did not see that happening in 2016. Okay? So don't fucking shove a black pill down my throat and expect me to join your fucking revolution. Be realistic. Because the foundation is something that is in the quiet, private morality of every fucking soul on Earth. And, and we keep up the warrior's good fight. All right, I'll catch you later.